There is a moment in every human life when you stop asking, "What is reality?" and begin to ask, "Who is dreaming it?" That question changes everything. For centuries, we've believed that consciousness is born from the brain, that neurons somehow conjure awareness out of electrical storms. But what if that story is backwards? What if the brain isn't the creator, but the receiver, like a radio tuned to a higher frequency of mind? What if your thoughts aren't trapped inside your head at all, but ripple outward, shaping the very field of space-time around you? Across traditions, from ancient mysticism to modern physics, the same whisper persists. You are not living inside reality, reality is living inside you. Every moment of your life, you are translating invisible energy into visible form. You do it effortlessly, unconsciously, through the feelings you sustain. Your reality is nothing but the shadow cast by your dominant state of being. It's not punishment, it's not reward, it's resonance. Think about it. When you tune a radio, you don't create the song, you align with it. The station was already broadcasting, waiting for your frequency to match. The universe operates by the same principle. The moment your inner frequency aligns with a desired reality, that reality becomes inevitable. Not by chance, not by luck, but by law. This is why every attempt to fix the outer world fails if the inner world remains the same. The job changes, but the pattern repeats. The relationship ends, but the feeling of lack returns. The numbers in the bank shift, but the anxiety stays, because nothing changes until you do. So let's begin at the center, consciousness itself. Modern neuroscience can map brain waves, track neurotransmitters, and image thought patterns in real time. Yet no scientist has ever found the boundary where awareness begins or ends. The more deeply we search, the more elusive the observer becomes. It's like chasing your own shadow with a flashlight. Quantum physics encountered the same paradox. When scientists observed particles at the smallest scales, the act of observation itself altered what appeared. The observer and the observed were entangled in an invisible feedback loop. The double-slit experiment shattered the illusion of separation. Matter didn't behave as matter until consciousness looked at it. What does that mean for you? It means that the very act of attention, what you look at, what you feel, what you expect, crystallizes possibility into form. You are the measurement device through which infinite potential becomes specific experience. And yet, you've been taught to beg reality to change instead of commanding it, to pray from absence instead of creating from fullness, to hope the universe will hear you instead of realizing that the universe speaks only the language of your vibration. Feeling is that language. Feeling is the electromagnetic signature of consciousness. Thought directs, but feeling commands. When you feel poverty, you magnetize experiences that confirm it. When you feel abundance, not as wishful thinking, but as embodied gratitude, reality reorganizes to match that signal. It's not magic, it's physics. The body is an electromagnetic transmitter, and the field it radiates becomes the architecture of your circumstances. The greatest illusion in human life is believing that emotions are reactions to reality. They're not. They are blueprints. The universe copies your inner geometry and prints it in matter. Every morning when you open your eyes, you're walking through yesterday's emotional design. But here's the miracle: you can redraw it. You can step into another state of being the way a musician steps into a new key. A state of peace, a state of confidence, a state of love. And when you sustain that vibration long enough, everything around you must recompose itself to match. This is the secret behind every teaching of transformation, from the mystics who spoke of faith to the physicists who speak of probability fields. They were describing the same mechanism through different languages. The universe obeys coherence. What you consistently feel becomes law. To understand this fully, we have to talk about dimensions. Imagine a single point, pure existence with no length, width, or height. That's the zero dimension, being without experience. When that point moves, it creates a line, the first dimension of relationship. When lines intersect, they form planes, the the two-dimensional realm of patterns. Add depth, and you arrive at the world you know, three-dimensional space. But every dimension is merely the shadow of a higher one. What you call the third dimension, your waking physical reality, is the shadow of a fourth-dimensional process unfolding outside of time. The fourth dimension is consciousness navigating possibility. It's where imagination, memory, and premonition merge into a single continuum. From there, time isn't linear, it's fluid. The future isn't waiting to happen, it's waiting to be selected. This is where you actually live. Every night when you fall asleep, you withdraw from the 3D world into this higher field. There, your subconscious, the creative womb of reality, rearranges energy according to your last waking feeling. What you feel as true before sleep becomes the command your deeper self fulfills. It doesn't reason, it doesn't question. It simply builds. This is why ancient mystics called sleep the meeting of heaven and earth, the union of the masculine and the feminine, of the conscious and the subconscious. Whatever idea you marry emotionally before sleep, you will give birth to in waking life. So the question becomes, what are you impressing upon yourself? What emotions are you falling asleep with? Because they are seeds, and your subconscious never fails to harvest them. Now, let's bring in the science again. Neuroscience confirms that during hypnagogic states, that twilight phase before sleep, brain waves slow into theta frequencies. In theta, the analytical mind dissolves, and the subconscious becomes highly suggestible. This is the laboratory of creation that Neville Goddard spoke about, and it aligns perfectly with what cognitive scientists now call neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through emotion-laden imagery. In theta, you can rewrite your entire self-concept. You can install new emotional programs. You can teach the body a new chemical identity of being. When you imagine vividly and feel sincerely, your nervous system doesn't distinguish between real and imagined. Biochemically, it's identical. The body obeys consciousness, not circumstance. That's the hidden science behind miracles. The body follows the mind follows feeling, and feeling follows attention. What you attend to expands. What you bless grows. What you resent persists. You are the gardener and consciousness is your soil. But most people plant weeds. They feed on contaminated mental nutrition, endless streams of fear, scarcity, division. Every headline, every argument, every unresolved resentment programs the subconscious with the frequency of limitation. And then they wonder why life keeps echoing pain. Mental nutrition matters as much as physical nutrition. You can eat organic food but consume toxic thoughts and expect to thrive. The cells in your body listen to every word you whisper internally. They are eavesdropping on your self-talk. So choose your diet of thought carefully. Feed your mind beauty, gratitude, and peace, and the body will respond with vitality. Feed it anxiety and anger, and it will construct illness. The subconscious doesn't judge what's good or bad. It only obeys what's repeated. This brings us to the law of states. Every identity, every situation, every destiny is just a state of consciousness. You can occupy any state you wish, the state of success, the state of serenity, the state of creative genius, the same way you tune a frequency. The question is never can I, but will I dwell there long enough for it to harden into fact? When you say I am, you claim a state. Every I am declaration is a passport stamp in the universe. I am tired. I am broke. I am alone. Those are creative commands, not descriptions. Each one sets the coordinates of your reality. So, what are you declaring without realizing it? What states are you rehearsing every day? Here's the secret. You can change states instantly. The mind is mobile. You can move from despair to gratitude, from doubt to certainty, from fear to love, in a single conscious breath. The challenge isn't the transition, it's maintaining the new state long enough for it to become your dwelling place. That's what spiritual discipline really means. Not denial, not suppression, but fidelity to your chosen reality. To hold the vibration of peace when chaos tempts you. to feel abundance when appearances show lack, to act as the embodiment of what you desire before it arrives. That is the art of creation. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your frequency. You cannot lie vibrationally. You are always broadcasting exactly what you believe about yourself. And the field, the quantum fabric of space-time, rearranges itself to mirror that broadcast. This is why great masters taught that repentance doesn't mean remorse, it means revision. To repent is to change your mind, to adopt a new state. Every moment you revise your inner narrative, you rewrite your future. Time isn't fixed, it's flexible. Every event that could ever occur already exists in the fourth dimension. You simply choose which one to bring forward through belief. When you fully grasp that, guilt dissolves, regret dissolves. You realize that even your past is negotiable because it lives only as memory, a vibration that can be retuned. Change the feeling about an old event and you alter its meaning. Alter its meaning and you change your identity. Change your identity and the world follows suit. Reality is plastic to consciousness. It molds itself to your assumptions like clay under heat. Every mystic who ever glimpsed truth said the same thing. Consciousness is the only reality. Not metaphorically, literally. Everything else is a reflection. The world is a mirror held up to your inner state. When you understand this, judgment disappears. You stop blaming others for reflections of your own inner weather. You realize that the world doesn't need fixing, only your perception does. And that shift alone begins to alter the entire hologram. Now, let's speak of dimensions again, the higher layers of this hologram. Beyond the fourth dimension of imagination lies the fifth, the realm of unity. Here, all potentials exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future dissolve into one radiant field of intelligence. Mystics call it Christ consciousness. Physicists call it the quantum field. The name doesn't matter. The experience does. In this realm, everything communicates with everything else instantly. Intention is transmission. Love is the organizing principle. When your consciousness touches this level, you no longer create by force, you create by resonance. You realize that the highest frequency isn't control, it's surrender. You stop trying to make the universe obey, and instead, you let the universe express itself through you. You become a vessel of coherence and life begins to flow effortlessly. This is the meaning of be still and know that I am God. Stillness isn't inaction, it's total alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, and body move in the same direction, the field responds as if you are the law itself, because you are. All creation flows from this alignment. The conscious mind chooses, the subconscious conceives, the higher self coordinates, and reality materializes. It's not philosophy, it's process. When you understand the architecture, you can build anything. The conscious mind is the masculine principle, directive, analytical, selective. The subconscious is the feminine principle, receptive, nurturing, creative. The conscious plants the seed, the subconscious gives it life. Feeling is the bridge between the two. When you feel something as real, the subconscious must make it real. It has no choice. Its only law is obedience to emotional conviction. That's why prayer without feeling is empty, and why despair without awareness is dangerous. Whatever emotion dominates you becomes your master. But here's the grace in it all. You can reclaim authorship at any time. Every breath is a chance to rewrite the script. The technique is ancient but simple. Before sleep, imagine one scene that would be true if your desire were fulfilled. Feel it. Live inside it, not as hope, as memory. Fall asleep in that conviction and the subconscious will begin to build it as fact. It cannot fail. The only variable is your consistency. Your feelings before sleep are the blueprint of tomorrow. What you feel last is what your mind will labor to construct through the night. That's why gratitude before sleep is alchemy. It sends the universe a final instruction. Continue this frequency. Each morning you awaken within the reality your subconscious prepared. You can tell exactly what you've been feeling by what you see when you open your eyes. The irony is that everyone is already using this law. They're just doing it unconsciously. Every fear, every complaint, every "what if it doesn't work" is a seed too. But the conscious creator learns to choose, to plant deliberately, to feel on purpose. This is what it means to shift dimensions, not to teleport your body, but to elevate your consciousness until the outer world must follow. You can ascend without leaving the ground. You can move to a higher reality by moving to a higher feeling. The field will mirror your new altitude. And when you reach the state of unity, you realize something indescribably beautiful. The entire journey was yourself. Every person, every challenge, every triumph was your own consciousness playing different roles in a divine drama of remembrance. You were never the small self fighting against the world. You were the infinite self exploring itself through contrast. That's why awakening doesn't make you superior. It makes you humble. Because you see that everything and everyone is God wearing a mask, including you. So the question now is not how to manifest, but how to remember. How to remember what you already are. The light observing itself through form. Reality bends to you not because you're special, but because you're integral to its equation. Consciousness and creation are one continuum. So tonight as you fall asleep, don't beg, don't wish. Feel. Feel the world you would love to wake up in. Walk through it in your imagination as though it's already true. Smell the air. Hear the sounds. Let gratitude flood your heart until sleep claims you. That feeling is your portal. The moment you feel it as real, the universe has already shifted. And when you wake, live as if it's already done. Because it is. Reality is your mirror. Consciousness is your sculptor. And you are the hand that shapes infinity.